Right, this is the GMX 250X series. Pretty good bike, I've had it for about a year now. Good bike, nothing ever really wrong with it. I've ridden it pretty hard, I've never really gone easy on it. Start her up with the choke on. Right, so she's pretty ready to go anyway. Right, so full choke's on, turn it off. Bit of a position where the choke is, but it's easy to find. Right. So yeah, I've had it for a year. The chain's no good, you can see that the links are seized right up. So got a chain and a new back wheel coming because I've actually damaged the rim a few times. Damaged it there. It completely buckled in and I bashed it out with a hammer and tightened up the spokes and she was good. She's still holding out. But that's what you get with your cheaper bikes, your cheap rims. I'm ordering one for $150 and new chain and sprockets, front sprocket and a full back wheel, $150. So that's the tube and everything. And just going to find out tomorrow how much the chain and sprockets are for it. Hoping to get a heavy duty chain anyway, because this chain's no good. I put my own little bash plate on her, just grinded out a bit of checker plate. Bloody zip tied her on. She didn't come with a bash plate, so that was the one thing I was disappointed about. Yesterday I took her out, bloody flipped it doing a wheelie. Fucking broke the plastic here. This plastic broke on it pretty much the first few months I had it, because the wheel, every time I did a jump, the wheel would hit the front fender and it cracked it. It still hits the front fender even over little jumps, so that's another downfall. These levers, the original ones, were pretty strong. I broke this one, so I put a new one on it, just a shit fucking thing. Still got I had to buy another clutch lever and thing. This is off a KX85, it bloody fit it, so never had an issue with the carby, never got blocks, she's still going good. Once I take the back wheel off and that, I might as well clean the bloody air filter boot inside, see if I can give that a clean. Give it a good service, change the oil. I change the oil pretty much, you know, every 10-15 hours. It's just a bloody ag bike, so they just keep running as long as they got oil in them. But you're supposed to change the oil, I'd say, every 20 hours on these. Maybe less is better for it, but what I do, I have given her a fair bit of maintenance since I've owned her. I've changed the first oil around about probably 6 hours. Just give it that extra bit of running time. I did have a leak up here. I took the bolt out, put some bloody gasket goo, and that sealed it, but she still sometimes seems to get a little build up of oil. Not really, it's just basically dirt, but it's not 100%, it's probably a 90% fix. It doesn't leak oil, which is good. gets a little bit of debris of damp dirt there, so I'd say there probably is a slight leak. Yeah, no, she's got some fucking power too. That's for a little 250. GMX X Series. Crisco, mate, fucking $2.5 grand, brand new at your doorstep. Good bike. Done nothing really to it, just a lot of maintenance. Had to tighten the chain a few times and cut a link out of it, but now she's just ruined. You get a good year out of them and then you just got to replace them. But I'm going to get a last bit of use out of her now. Just to, you know, why not? A bit bored, so go on this little track. It's honestly, mate, $2.5 grand for this bike is not bad at all. I've done nothing but give her services and look after her, and she's looked after me, I tell you. I definitely would recommend one of these bikes brand new at your door. I do have, you know, a Kawasaki KX450, but this bike for its money, bloody good bike. I've never had any drama with it. I did, you know, had the chain come off once because I bloody blew out the rear bearings in the wheel, and I got that out. Honestly, this back wheel's just, you know, just set up for dodgy, just to get me by, but I broke this casing here. You can see I've got one bolt stuck in there and I can replace it, put another one on, but I just have to figure out a way of getting this bolt out. If anyone can give me a tip, I might have to just grind, put a nice edge on it and put a grinder on it and get it out somehow, put an edge and try and get a little shifter on it or something. But besides that, oh, that's right, the throttle cables on these bikes are bloody terrible. I recommend getting yourself an aftermarket throttle setup with a better cable, because this cable, I honestly pretty much JB weld it inside the throttle housing, just so I don't have to keep buying new cables. But both wheels, they need to be replaced. The front one, I won't replace it just yet, but the back one, and here again, is another bit of damage. That's just from a little fucking, you know, a little pothole. Just bang, dented it in like from here to about here, and then I bashed it out with a bloody podger, scaffold and podger, and tighten up the spokes, and she's still holding up, but really she needs a replacing. She's not really badly buckled either, so, which is bloody positive. But you can definitely feel when you put your brakes on at the front that she's a little bit buckled too, because I've had the same problem with the rear once or twice, and that's the only bad thing about the cheap bikes. You got your cheap rims, but the engine bloody sounds awesome. Throws out a good backfire when you're in high gear, and she sounds nice. Wouldn't recommend changing the carby, because she's got that yellow twister screw there to tune her up. Very easy. The carby gives it, you know, the power it needs. I don't recommend getting a bigger carby. She's a pretty good one actually. Not sure what brand it is, but it does say there something. This is stock carby, and haven't had any issues with any air leaks there or anything, and I've never changed it, just give them a tighten every here and there. But with these bikes, a little bit of maintenance here and there does go astray, that's for sure. The old GMX 250. But I will fix this tonight, take it off and bloody yeah, I think it might be stuck to the rear fender actually, this. So I'm just thinking of bloody putting some hardener on the back of it just to keep it there. Give it a clean up, of course, get the old sticker shit off. But yeah, besides, the bike's a pretty good running condition. Takes me good on the track. I'm about 100 kilos and she still holds up well, that's for sure. She's got a CDI thing on it, so she's got no restrictors on it. She just fucking keeps going. You can see up there, there's a CDI thing, and apparently on your pit bikes you get that CDI thing and they make them go a bit harder. So this bike's built for fucking a fair bit of torque. I think she throws you out about, you know, probably 11 or 15 horsepower, between that range anyway. She's not too serious, she's not too, you know, she's not slow either. She's got some balls. Stock pipe on her, you know. I haven't used this kick very much, so I put some lube on it yesterday just to loosen her up. She was a little bit stiff. Yeah, as far as the GMX go, they're the same brand as the Crossfire, or at least the same company makes them. I'm pretty well positive, because the Crossfire is a good branded sort of pit bike and the GMX is straight after it. If you go on the GMX motorbike shop.com, GMX motorbikes, you'll see the Crossfires in these GMX. But I got this from Crisco. They sit probably now about $3,000. I got it for about 2.5. And yeah, I rang up GMX store today about parts for it, and they're going to let me know the rest of the price tomorrow. But a back wheel for this, $150. For me, $450. Back wheel probably $500, $600. So the good thing about this bike, you can get cheaper parts for them, but you have to ring up to organise the parts. You won't be able to find them on the GMX store because these are pretty well fresh made bikes. They're only last year made, I'm pretty positive. And they still make them now, but they were just brought out last year. So this is about probably 15-month-old bike now, 15 months, and absolutely nothing wrong with it. Still goes, very happy with it. $2,500. And I will update more videos, and I'll even chuck a few videos of me Kawasaki on here and do an update on her very soon. Kawasaki 450, 2013 model, 14 model, sorry. She rips ass. But for this bike, there's not many videos on YouTube. I thought I'd put it up there because she is a good bike, and there is some shitty brands out there, but there's another brand out there on YouTube right now called the 1010-250. That's a good brand. It looks pretty sturdy. Looks very similar to this. But I honestly do like the look of the 1010-250 a bit better than this one. But this is pretty well one of the best sort of Chinese 250 makes you'll get. GMX and the 1010s and SSRs. SSR 250s and 300s and that, they got good ones now, so, and this is one of them. But I'll cut this a short video and I'll give you one more start up. Sounds like she's got some power. Doesn't rattle much, and yeah. There you go. Socks.